He has elite guards, and he sends them to go and check out everything involving the Grand Master of Ceremonies and his student. And they check the student's place, find the proof that the dude is tied to the puppeteer and that they're plotting to frame the Grand Master of Ceremonies of terrorism, betraying the country, being a full-on traitor. They're plotting evidence, and evidence that has a seal tied to the prince of the Yemeni country, the Melid's country. And when the Melid sees the seals, he goes, this isn't just a copy. Like, this is full on the real seal. And realizing his cousin might have been tied to and working with his Yemeni country, the main character's country. And it very much upsets him, but we don't go into much detail of it. But yeah, they have evidence of it, but they're going to let this go. They're going to let the dude plant the evidence against the Grand Master of Ceremonies because they have a plan to go against this. Once the dude had planted the evidence, he goes to the emperor, puts on a whole act, which gets the emperor to listen to him, and the emperor's furious knowing the Grand Master of Ceremonies is a traitor. And if you are a traitor, you're not just punished, your entire family clan is punished with you. All of your heads are sent flying for being a traitor. Even if you're just the one traitor, everyone is punished with you. And so they're all arrested and imprisoned. And this is when the main character sets out his plans. The main character's plans is to use an official who would look like he's kicking a horse down and betray all of his comrades and allies by having this person basically go, oh, my dear emperor, if you're going to basically instigate this man, and you need to instigate him in detail, you can't get rid of him right away, you can't execute him right away, you need to instigate him. You also have to instigate all of his comrades and allies by making it look like this dude is saving himself. He's throwing everybody else and the Grand Master of Ceremonies under a bus. And the emperor, he's obviously eating up everything this dude is saying and listening to this dude. And the dude goes, my dear emperor, even though the dude who ousted the Grand Master of Ceremony ousted him, doesn't mean that he's not involved. You should look into him. So the emperor does. And it proves that this dude framed the Grand Master of Ceremony and that this dude was doing it under the orders of the puppeteer, which ruins or fractures the relationship the puppeteer has with the emperor. Master of Ceremony is freed with his family. He decides to have a party with his comrades and allies. And his comrades and allies are like chewing out that official who, threw them supposedly under the bus for his own hide. And the Grand Master of Ceremony, he actually points out to them that the dude actually saved them and saved the Grand Master of Ceremony's life. And it's obviously that the dude is working for someone, and someone also points out that they overheard him talk about the main character. So they kind of got an understanding that the main character is the one who technically saved the Grand Master of Ceremonies' life and his family's life. Grand Master of Ceremonies, he's not the only one who had figured that out. The puppeteer too had figured it out. He also sent a bunch of men to get rid of the main character and get rid of the main character's guards. And the Melid stopped this by using his subordinate and his men to protect the main character and specifically protect the main character's guards. Melid's legs are healed, or at least partially healed, and he wants to inform the main character of this. But he realizes because he went along with his subordinate and the physician online to the main character about them being able to heal him, he realized he can't actually tell the main character without revealing his lies. So he's sitting there going, oh, what am I supposed to do? So the main character has yet to be informed about the Melid's healing. Back when the main character revealed to the Melid why he was doing everything he was doing for the Melid, he also told the Melid he wanted to be partners, comrades. So now there are comrades in arms, they are partners trying to get through this together. Just like the Grand Master of Ceremonies having his little celebration on his life being saved. The main character has his own celebration. He gets the original hostess fine wine and he brings it to the male lead. He's like, I know you're taking medicine to heal yourself and your injuries, but like, can you have a little bit of a wine with me? Because neither one of my concubines, neither one of my advisors can sit down and drink with me right now. So you know what? Why don't we have a little celebration together? And they do. And the main character, he gets drunk, and his behavior is exactly like his behavior in book one. He's very precocious. He rambles on. He repeats himself. He's just being absolutely adorable. He's rubbing himself up against the male lead, just being a cute, affectionate pet that wants affection and attention. And the male lead at this moment realizes his feelings for the main character, what he desires from the main character. It took him a book and a half to realize this, but he does. He realizes what he wants from the main character and what he desires. At the time, the main character was staying at Concubine 1's place to make his sickness worse, poisoning himself, and he returned back to the male lead's side once the poison was infected. The male lead was jealous that entire time. He was ferociously jealous the entire time the main character was away. And once the main character returned back, he was still very petty and very upset over the fact that the main character stayed with somebody else that wasn't him. And when he faces off with Concubine 1 after these days, he shows his jealousy to Concubine 1. Exactly the same jealousy and anger in his eyes as he did Concubine 2. And Concubine 1 realizes it. He realizes the male lead is jealous and he tries telling that to the main character. And the main character's like, oh no, he's not. Don't fool yourself. Yeah, he was. During one of the times, Concubine 2 and the main character was discussing plans with each other and Concubine 1 was left out of them, he decides to go meddle with the male lead. And now that the male lead knows this dude isn't actually the main character's favored concubine, but just putting on an act, and he likes to act like one of those jealous, controlling concubines and likes to meddle with people, he's like, oh, this is an act. I will just end up backslapping this dude and humiliating him, just giving the dude the taste of his own medicine. Obviously, Concubine 1 is very upset, especially when the main character walks in on them doing their whole little act thing, and he ends up running off over it. And I thought it was a really hilarious scene. When the male lead's physician checks in on the main character when he first arrived, and he points out that the main character had been poisoned, or specifically, he acknowledges the main character poisoned himself to get them into the residence to take care of the male lead. Like, he kind of acknowledges it, but he's still suspicious of the main character and distrusting of the main character. But he does kind of acknowledge that inside. But he also points out to the main character that he'd been poisoned when he was younger, that the illness that he has that has affected his body his entire life, someone had poisoned him. Like, it's not a true natural illness, he'd been poisoned. He also informs the male lead of this.